Fantastic. And some different individuals coming up to present from our director team, which is always nice to see. And then, as always, we'll open it up to questions at the end. But first, I will bring up Lynn, your resident council president.
First thing I'm going to say is, after last council meeting, which was my first, I thought, okay, I'm going to see what this is like on channel whatever it is. I don't like the side view. It's like, so I need to stand over here, hide behind it. Okay. No, I see this as a full agenda, so a lot of the things that we talked about at council are going to be covered by other directors, so I won't, go into everything. You're going to be hearing about the Alzheimer's event and tickets and things, and so that's coming up. I want to thank Lindsay and the powers that be for saying yes to more shade out in the courtyard, because we have one really big umbrella and there's going to be another one coming. So for instance, the next time we have a 3 o'clock gathering that's really fun out there and the sun is beating down and some of us last 10 minutes and then come in, we will have more shade. So this is good. If you're out there, and this is a continuing request, if you're at a table and you put the umbrella up, please put it down when you leave and put the cushions away if you use them, because those umbrellas are not super, super strong, and if they get hit with a windstorm or something, we've lost some already. So, if you're going to use it, please, crank it down. Not the big ones, that'll be talked about, but, anyway. I wanted to say, on behalf of the concerned citizens, we want to thank everybody who contributed to the food Hunger Task Force box for the food pantries. The one that we filled up that was by the front desk, they took that one away. Now we have another one. We're going to be collecting for them through the summer. And they were here. How many were here yesterday for their presentation? I learned so much about the organization, so it was an excellent presentation. I didn't know they had a farm where they raise, all this fresh food. So that was really, really good. But thank you to all of you who contributed. It really seems to be making a difference. It's a small effort, maybe from each of us, but all together, we're making a difference. So I do thank you for that. And it really struck me after listening to the presentation. A couple hours later, I went in and sat down for a dinner with a menu that you open up and a special tonight, and it just struck me. I thought, oh, how fortunate I am. So thank you for participating in that. I'm headed off to Aldi tomorrow to get some more stuff to put in it, nutritious stuff. Am I supposed to ask if anybody has questions? Because I hope you don't. Okay, thanks guys.
All right, thank you, Lynn. And then next up, we'll have Bryce.
Good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to give you an update on the Health Center. There's not too much to report out this month since last month, but I do really want to give a huge shout out to the Health Center team, that being in dietary, hospitality, clinical, the nursing team, and social work. They've really stepped up in the, up to the last 4 weeks and added additional capacities. They've also kind of been a part of you as well with adding additional presentations and workshops, I hear, when it comes to presenting to all of you and the Wellness Committee. So that's great. I really want to give them a pat on the back for doing that. Some things that they've been asking for, the clinical team especially, is training and education. So recently they actually completed a non-pharmacological pain intervention training. That was a mouthful for me, especially, with our partnered hospice providers. So this is something that's great. This is something I touched base with Tracy this morning, actually, and wanted to give a huge shout out about. Their focus on this was a treatment without using medications, of course, looking at therapies and additional education remedies when it comes to combating pain for our residents. As we're almost through July, obviously we get heat advisories here in Wisconsin, of course Milwaukee. I just want to make everyone vigilant on this, as we experienced one recently. Just to make sure, Eric and his team have been exceptional at keeping the temps down in Bradford Terrace, but during these heat advisories, the temps in Bradford Terrace do creep up a bit. But I just want to make you all aware that Eric, his team, our team as well in the Bradford Terrace area are doing all we can to make sure those temps are kept low. Even that means increasing resources and even additional fans in the hallways. So we do ask you, if you are visiting your significant others, family, or friends in the Bradford Terrace areas, don't hesitate to ask for a bottle of water or two. We'll be happy to provide that, or a glass of water. But something that really helps with us is to keep the blinds closed, doors, and windows as well. If you see it, be vigilant about it. They do really mess with the mechanics of the building, and this is just things that will help keep the temps low for us. Hopefully, we don't experience the high temps that we are right now and the humidity outside at this magnitude. But we have August still, so I just want to make sure you're all aware. So that is all I have for an update for Bradford Terrace and the Health Center, and I would love to introduce Jillian, our administrator in training.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to share my administrator in training experience so far. The last Citizens Castle meeting, I shared that I was in social services with our Director of Social Services, Nicole. And the last couple weeks, I have been admissions with Amy and Joe, and supporting Amy as Joe transitions out of his full-time position here at East Castle. And looking forward, I do have a couple of days in volunteer with Mike Brever, and then next week I will begin in assisted living with Ashley. And I do appreciate all of the support from the directors and the team in guiding me through these rotations, as long as some of you, as well as I've gotten the opportunity to chat with you and ask for some advice on the upcoming months and my experiences here. So thank you all for that. And I will be handing off the mic to Jen now for her updates.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Thank you, Jillian. And I do want to point out, I'm not keeping Jillian to myself tomorrow and Monday as a volunteer. She'll actually be working with us in the treasure chest. So come on down, see the great offerings we have right now. We've gotten a lot of new inventory in. We're going to be working Jillian hard, so you can see how it goes. But we'll also have donuts down there. So come on down and grab a donut, see Jillian hard at work, and let her know just what it's like here in the East Castle Place community. I want to begin by pointing out, I apologize for this morning's trivia show. You know, there's a lot of you that come to that. It's always 11 o'clock on Thursday mornings. Today it was at 9 o'clock, and I didn't have much time to let everybody know that. Starting next Thursday, it goes back to 11. So if you want to come to that, I apologize, it didn't happen today, but we did have a 9 o'clock show. It was great. It was fabulous. I'm sorry you missed it. I want to point out one of your neighbors recently donated their car to East Castle Place. Now you might wonder, what do we do with that? Well, we work with a nonprofit corporation called CARS, Charitable Auto Rides and Services. They take the car and sell it at auction for us, and we receive the proceeds from that auction. This donation resulted in almost $1,700 being donated to East Castle Place. In the years that we've had this program functional, we've received 9 cars as donations, totaling $29,761. That, you know, when you have a budget as large as ours, almost $30,000, you know, you wonder, why do you make the effort? It has a dramatic impact on East Castle Place. The donors indicated they wanted the funds to be used for our community enrichment program. I heard Lynn talking a couple minutes ago about the umbrellas and the sunscreens that are out in the courtyard right now. The enrichment program bought those umbrellas that are in that courtyard right now. Things that fall through the cracks are how we use that money, and we're very, very, very grateful for the donors. So I know owning a car is a sense of independence, and I don't want anyone to be giving up anything, before they feel it's time. But if you haven't driven in your car in 2 or 3 years and someone wrote on your car, "Hi, I'm Dusty, who are you?" Come and see me. I can help you save money on your monthly bills, and you'll be helping East Castle Place as well. Just to bring you all up to date, the Community Enrichment Fund, we have a little bit over $14,000 in that account right now. You know about the umbrellas that we did and we are buying. The pool table downstairs in the basement, we purchased that. A lot of things that fall between the cracks at budget time get bought by that, and there's a committee of your neighbors who make those decisions. So if you have an interest in any of that, let me know and I'll explain to you how it all works. I'd like to bring you up to date on the treasure chest. I spoke about it briefly because of Jillian's involvement in it tomorrow. We're quickly reaching the highlight of our program year, which is, of course, the awarding of scholarships. We have 23 student employees who have taken out scholarship applications this year. 4 of them have already submitted completed applications. I expect many, if not most, of the 23 will turn them all in. The volunteers that work at the treasure chest are the ones who make those decisions. And this year we have been blessed that we have sufficient funds that we'll be able to give every student employee who is awarded something by that review committee a significant amount of money that will help them with their tuition. They can use it for books or for tuition, room and board, for transportation, whatever. So it's a very, very exciting time for us. Come on down, donate to the treasure chest, buy items at the treasure chest, become a volunteer. This is a really important thing about building community at East Castle Place. And we want to make you as much a part of it as well. If any of you want to become volunteers, and nobody ever asked you, I'm asking you now, and if you want to know how to get involved, Jane, raise your hand back there. Jane Peterson, talk to Jane, let her know you'd like to learn more about it. You don't have to make a commitment, but we'll get you down there to see just how easy it is. Over 500 hours is donated annually to the treasure chest. We want your commitment as well. I've had several of your neighbors talk to me about how they have made contributions to the treasure chest. They want to add to an endowment on something like that, and how to go about doing that. One of your neighbors asked me about a very, very unique but very realistic opportunity. They are considering taking a part of their entrance fee refund and committing it to a portion of an endowment for the treasure chest or East Castle Place in general. If you want to learn about something like that, come and talk to me. It doesn't have to cost you anything right now. It would come out of your refund. I'll be glad to walk you through that if it's anything of interest to you. Last but not least, I want to point out to you that quickly the Employee Appreciation Fund collection will be starting. We have over $20,000 in that fund already this year. The earliest we ever reached that benchmark before was the month of October. We're doing really, really well. I know you think, my gosh, that's Mike Brever doing such a fabulous job. No. 5 of your neighbors have signed monthly contracts, and every month a portion of their annual contribution is given to East Castle Place. 5 more of your neighbors have contributed already through qualified charitable distributions from your IRAs. I can think of at least 4 more QCDs that will be coming in. Saves you taxes on your required minimum drawdown. It's an easy way to contribute. Come and see me. That's what's leading to this early return for the Employee Appreciation Fund. Anything I can answer for anybody? Great.
How much did you say that you got for that car?
We got approximately $1,700. We've had 9 cars donated so far, and we've had almost $30,000. So we've been averaging about $3,000. This one was a little bit less, but still more money than we had before, and we're very, very grateful. Well, you have to understand that most of the cars that have been donated are not 2019 Hyundais and Hondas. The one that was donated was a 2006. We recently had a 1995 car donated. Every car has resulted in something, and it's proportional to the quality of the car and the year of the car, and the drivability of the car.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? I'm going to turn it over to Jen.
Hello, everyone. Oh, I am not that tall. Hello. In case you don't know who I am Jen. I am the Director of Human Resources here. I don't typically get to talk at State of the Castle, so hello. So there's two things on the list for me to review with you guys today is the WOW cards that we have. We just hosted about 2 weeks ago a new resident orientation, and we talked about the WOW cards at that meeting, and then we were asked to talk about it again at the next State of the Castle. So we love all of the different slips of the WOW cards that are being turned in. What we are seeing though is an abundance of kind of what we would say are expectations. So I'm going to give an example again of what is an expectation versus truly what is that extraordinary WOW card, right? So if you come down to dinner and you ask your server for this drink and this meal, and they bring that out to you in a timely fashion and everything is correct, that is an expectation, right? That's what's supposed to happen. Truly extraordinary is where you come down to the dining room and they know that you like to sit in a certain area. They're going to make sure that they sit you there. They know that you like that lemon with your water. They bring that out to you without you asking. They know that you like that special sauce, so they're going to make sure they put that on the side for you. That is really where someone has really taken that extraordinary level and really gotten to know you. So one of the things that we're just going to kind of alleviate a little bit different is please continue to submit all of those lovely WOW cards that you are doing. And then the cards that we do not enter into the program for points, we are still going to post those cards so those employees can still see all those very kind words that you guys are sharing with them. Any questions with the WOW cards? Oh, yes, in the back.
There should be a better place for us to return them. Okay, it's not that accessible, all right, so that you're like, well, I got a WOW card, where should I put it?
Yeah, the question was just about the WOW cards not having a great place to put them when after you write them. We could probably just create another little basket right next to where you're grabbing them, and then that's a very easy way of grab and then put back in the basket right next to it.
And where is that basket?
It will be there. The WOW cards where I know they're in like the fireplace library room is where the WOW cards are there, but to your point, there is not like a return. Typically, I think everyone's just giving them to the receptionist, and then they put that in our mailbox then. But we could, what's that?
There is a box.
Oh, there is a box. Where is that return box?
Where all the books are.
Where all the books are.
It's right next to it.
Right next to it. Right, well, guess what?
I think what it needs to be is more accessible.
Okay.
And we, as residents, need to know where.
Got it. Well, there seemed to be a lot of individuals that knew where it was. So find a friend and make sure that you can show them where that is then too. But we'll take a look at that and see what else we can do for you. Okay? All right, then I'm just going to move on to the next thing of our Alzheimer's event. So first off, kind of how this whole thing started was Jen was like, I think we can do more. So for the last 2 years, we have donated $5,000 to the Alzheimer's Association. And then years before that, it roughly averaged anywhere from $1,500 to $1,800. And I thought, well, let's try something else. And so you'll see a lot of different employee events started this month in July. And that's where we are asking our residents and you lovely individuals to help us with this lovely initiative. So the first thing that you guys are going to see coming down the pipeline is on Friday, August 8th. We will have our silent auction go live that day right outside here in Lindsay Hallway. And then you'll have where it has the list of the item, what the value is, and that opening bid. You can do cash, card, room charge again if you are the one that wins that final bid. We do not have the finalized list today, but let me just show you some little secrets out here. So some of the different items from East Castle Place, we have an inclusive in-home gourmet dinner with Chef Tim. So he's going to come to your room, and then you can invite 3 of your neighbors with you as well. We have a floor party with Tanya and Majarka. We know that that's been one that has been wanted in the past, so they're going to do some light appetizers and music and all of that with the floor that wins. A paint and sip party with Mia, who is our HR generalist, so she'll lead a painting activity over in the Lake Terrace Art Room. And then refresh your space with a room painting. So if you want one of your rooms to get painted and touched up, that is one of those items. And then we have had a lot of great assistance from 2 of our residents. So I'm gonna call you guys out so you get recognized. So Miss Jo Schmidt and Sandra Meyer, I'm sure they might have also already tapped on your lovely shoulders and maybe said, could you maybe donate something for us? So if you are one of the donators, thank you so much. Some of the items that we have right now from the residents is 75,000 American Airlines miles. We have some getaway locations to either Florida or Door County. We have some underground parking available for 3 months or 6 months. And then we have lunch for 4 at the Vet with transportation from East Castle Place as well. So these are just some of those different items that will be on that silent auction. And then we have the event is on Tuesday, August 19th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the patio courtyard. We'll have live music, heavy hors d'oeuvres. It is drink what you want. There is no limit, so you can have fun. If you already purchased a ticket, you don't have to bring anything down with you that night. We will have a roster of everything, and then myself and Mia will be your bouncers at the door, so you got to make sure you bought your ticket ahead of time, or you can still purchase it the day of. And I'm really happy to say that we have officially sold 86 tickets. With the tickets and some donations, we are at $2,800 already for that event. And hold the applause, Bryce, I love it, but hold 1 second. We have been doing employee events since July 3rd, and we raised over $1,700 from the employee campaign. So you add those numbers up, and we are over $4,500 raised already. So the last 2 years, we've done 5,000, so if we're already at 4,500, we have more employee events along the way. We haven't even started the silent auction, and we still have tickets to sell. So if you are interested in purchasing more tickets, we will sell tickets at lunch on the live auction day, and then the dinner service the night before, or the dinner service at the State Fair event that Majarka and her team are hosting, we will be there to sell tickets as well. So. Ooh, I already got a question from Mike. Yes, go ahead.
It's not really a question, it's just a comment. I want to remind everybody that your entrance fee to come to the event, all of that money goes to the Alzheimer's Association. So as a result of that, your fee is a charitable contribution, and that sum is added to the tax letter I'll be giving you in January.
Well, thank you. If you have any questions, you can come ask myself or Mia over at HR. Mike has been a great help, also helping with a lot of the residents purchasing tickets through him. So let us know if you guys need anything else. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are all of you? Good. So I just have a little kind of update about dining commentary and some staff members. So I here at East Castle, as well as all of the directors, we really appreciate the relationships that we can build between staff and the residents. But as some of you may notice, as we have new team members join us, you might notice that they have different styles or different expressions, or maybe the way that they describe themselves. And that's something we truly want to celebrate here at East Castle. So I just wanted to kind of offer a couple reminders to help make everybody kind of feel comfortable if any situations happen to arise. So to a lot of our newer individuals, pronouns really matter to them. So somebody might like to be addressed as he or she or they, and using the correct pronoun might seem really small to us, but to them it's really important. And if you're unsure, the best way to address somebody is just simply by their name. Everybody has a name tag, so if you're not sure, oh, Majarga, oh, Lindsay. Everyone's unique. Like that is, today's generation likes to express themselves in things that they wear, their hair, their accessories, and we support that. And we want that to be part of our community so it can be vibrant. If all of us came every day in black and white and sat in a drab hallway, we wouldn't have fun. Like, we like to comment on the way that people look, so we really just want to embrace that with our staff as well. If there is something that is a concern of you, of maybe inappropriate t-shirt or hat, come to myself, Tanya, Tim, Lindsay, and we can address that individually with the staff versus it being done kind of in a group setting. And as much as I or Lindsay might welcome a nice little hug or a nice friendly little nickname, that might be a little bit uncomfortable to some others. So if we can try to kind of manage people's personal space and not necessarily embrace them unless it's something that they're asking for. We just want to kind of respect their boundaries and make sure that it's something they're okay with. So I just kind of want to thank everybody for being supportive as we have a really great team here, and we just want them to feel safe and appreciate it. Any questions? All right. Any other questions about hospitality? Yes?
Would it be possible to have the veggie burger, just the patty, as an extra protein on the menu?
Yeah, that's not a problem. If you want that now, don't be afraid to ask for it.
I do all the time.
Okay, yeah, when we reprint the menu, we can add that as an extra protein, just like veggie patty by itself. So we can do that. Not a problem. Any other questions? Yes, Mrs. Meyer.
What is the health department requirement for hair when you're serving cooking?
Yep, that is something that we have already addressed with some of the individuals. Cooking, pulled back in a hairnet, serving, if it is shoulder length or a certain length, it does need to be pulled back. Any other questions? All right, and I believe Teresa is next. Thank you.
Teresa's having a hot flash.
Trust me, they keep coming frequently now. So young. I don't know about that, Mrs. Spears. I have just one question today. It says, concerned with sharing information regarding resident illnesses and hospitalizations. So when you first moved in, you filled out 1,000 pieces of paper. And in that paperwork was a release of information form where you give or not give us permission to let someone know when you're in the hospital, if you're on vacation, if you're in the health center. We can't just, if Mr. Smith calls and says, hey, is Mrs. Crump in the hospital? We can't give that information out just freely for Mrs. Crump's privacy. So we had asked you all, if you probably don't remember, but maybe you do, you filled out a form that gives us permission to let people know when you're out of the building. We keep a copy of that at the front desk so that the receptionist can pull that file when someone comes and asks if someone is in the hospital or out of the building for vacation or if they're in a health center. But 9 times out of 10, you guys already know. If someone's in the hospital, if someone's on vacation, most times you know before I know. So, but just so that you are aware, we are not just giving out your information to anybody who asks. Some residents can come to the desk and be a little persistent in wanting to know where someone is, but we have to check that binder first before we give out that information. And some residents are okay with people knowing, and some residents are not okay. Some people like their privacy. I don't know who asked that question, but I hope that kind of answers it. Yes, Linda?
That was me, because I was told, well, now I've had 2 people across from me, one next door and one across, who have died. And I I knew they were missing, but I didn't know what the story was.
Yeah.
And as far as Marilyn, who's across the hall from me, I kept seeing the daughter or the son. So I just asked them, and they were very open about explaining to me. But I was afraid to tell other people.
Right. And
Because everybody was asking me, because I live right next door.
And normally when someone passes away, I ask the family member first before I put that information out there. And what I've been doing lately is sending an email blast, and so that everybody gets that information at one time. And it's also posted in the mailroom to the right of the door once you enter that room. But I can't put that information out or tell anyone until I get permission from the family first. But like I said, you're a neighbor, so obviously you saw that family was coming and going and you felt comfortable enough to ask. So, but for us, I need to get permission first.
Sure. And the problem I have is I have no family in the state. So I would tell friends, but I don't have anyone that is here that could, notify.
When you tell me, I'm your person.
So I'll call you from the hospital.
Teresa, just so you know, it might happen today, it might not.
It might.
Let me know.
Okay, I will.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible to verify how we signed that?
Absolutely. I can look for you, Mrs. Spears, or anybody. If you don't even remember signing one, let me know. I can check to make sure that you have one, and I can get you the form, or we can get it filled out, or I can just check the binder to see if you're already in there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay, well, since I'm up here, I want to say one more thing. I just wanted to mention that I have heard that some people, not some people, but a person or two may have had a fall in their apartment, or had a fall outside, or had a fall when they were at the store or whatnot. If you have a fall, please let me know. I know that there's some concern that if you fall in your apartment 1, 2, 3, 4 times that you have to move to assisted living. That is not the case. If you're falling in your apartment, let me know so we can maybe help figure out why you're falling. Are you tripping over a rug that we need to move? Do you need a nightlight maybe perhaps to get back and forth to the bathroom? Did you have one too many cocktails? It happens. Whatever the case may be, if you are falling or have had a fall in your apartment, please don't hesitate to let me know. Just so that you can make me aware so that I can maybe keep an extra eye on you. It could be medication. There's tons of reasons why people fall. So don't be afraid to let me know. You don't have to move to assisted living just yet. No, just kidding. Anything else? That's my PSA for the day. Any questions? No one has nothing to ask me, huh? I guess you see me here. Okay, I was going to keep going, but I won't.
Get out. Oh, funny. That's why we only let her talk once a quarter. All right. So, for my update this month, and then opening the floor to questions, I'll talk about the patio umbrellas. So, yes, we have our wonderful blue and orange patio umbrellas that are much more user-friendly in terms of cranking them up and down. Our latest and greatest large, that big tan umbrella is much more difficult. So we do not want residents, unless you are tall and able, but that is not me, and that's not, I know, many people who want to risk that, to try and put it up and down yourself. So we have a process here that our maintenance team, as well as our drivers who have some downtime and variability in their schedule, will be the individuals to put it up on days that it's weather permitting. A desirable day that the weather looks nice, it doesn't look, very drafty, and then people will want to enjoy their time outside. And then at the end of the evening, around 6:30, we would plan to take it down. If people are using it, we did train our hospitality, our servers in the kitchen, or they will be trained as well, just to make sure that we are taking the best care of the new umbrella that we invested in. and that our staff are the ones doing it, because it is a bit more complicated than, again, just a standard crank umbrella. If you see that it is not put up and you would like to use it, please just let the front desk know, and they can radio someone in our maintenance department 7 days a week or housekeeping, and they will open that up for ease of use. Yes?
Paul Halbrook and I are self-taught on the raising of that umbrella. So if you want it up for a small fee, we'd be.
So we do have some tall gentlemen in the back who are looking for nominal donations in order to raise that and lower it.
You asked through his wife.
Yes.
No.
The missus put the kibosh on that, so please stick to the plan. We will do our best to open it and close it as the days go on. But if you would like it, again, please let the front desk know, and we will get that open for you. So they're very nice, and we look forward to the other one as well that will be matching in that area. And they are incredibly sturdy, and even if they were left open overnight, because things happen, or late night soirees when the sun is up until 9 p.m., they are stable. So they will not be a flight risk across the patio at that point, which is great. Any questions on the umbrellas? No? My next question, can the carpeting at the garage level and up at Contemporary North stairwell be cleaned? Absolutely. We can work on getting that cleaned. I believe if we have not already put a work order in, we will. And then we do have Magicus, our carpet cleaners, who have larger industrial size cleaning equipment that covers more square footage beyond what our also industrial size equipment has. But they are able to cover a larger ground in some of those more complex areas. So they will come out, and we will include some of the stairwell areas and just kind of lower level common areas also to be touched up. And again, as always, if you see that an area needs to be rectified there, please put in a work order under the housekeeping tab. And perhaps it's not number one priority, but it will stay in the queue so that our team members in housekeeping will be able to address it. And then next question, please put a few grocery carts in each underground garage. So this one, I like the idea of it. Are we thinking an actual shopping cart? Or are we thinking, I don't know who proposed this question, or the hotel luggage carts? Those are too big? Okay. Well, we'll explore a few items for lower level, smaller trips. Because I know the building I live in has a grocery cart, and I went to Costco last night, and I had to use it when I got home because they don't give bags. So very convenient, I understand. It'll just be a matter of making sure it gets put back too at the end of the day, because oftentimes those things get set out, someone's in an apartment. So we will explore that option and see what we can come up with. Perhaps run that through the council too. Any questions on those? Just simple 2 questions this month. No? Yeah.
Recently, we've been streaming movies, say, on Netflix, and it's continually rebooting or rebuffering.
Yeah.
And this hasn't happened in the past. It seems to be after dinner, where I assume most people are streaming. Is there anything being done to expand our bandwidth? I know that Joe isn't here, but I think that's a problem. And it's just in the last few weeks has started. And it's even happening on our phones when we're connected to Wi-Fi, so it's got to be the bandwidth or something. Do you know if any progress is being made on that?
Now, the question was regarding the Wi-Fi bandwidth, and if you're watching Netflix, it'll start spinning, or if you're using your phone, it's slow to load. So is that specifically in the theater room, would you say? Or is that just your apartments? Okay. Okay. So And then the question is, anything being done for the Wi-Fi? As present, our Wi-Fi is, I'd say, incredibly strong and has been operating at, I'd say, it's the most efficient level when you look at the bandwidth and when you do kind of the, I don't want to say refresher, but if you've ever had to refresh or check to see your Wi-Fi connection, it's been very strong and strength. I can reach out, I know Joe Petoskey, our IT manager, is on a well-deserved vacation this week. I will reach out to our partners who monitor that as well, because again, for what we pay for our Wi-Fi, I'd say here at East Castle, it should be running as quick as possible. So I will make sure to see if there's any, area outages. Usually we get informed about that, so I don't think there has been, or any inconsistent allocations of how, the band strength for our Wi-Fi signal
I
is.
wonder if, are we the only ones that are experiencing that?
I got kicked off my bridge.
With my TV having problems, I mean, all I do is watch TV or a DVD, but all of a sudden there's a blank
When you're
screen
streaming.
and,
And sometimes it's with streaming, and then I would say if you have a Fire Stick or a Roku, that can also interfere. I know I had to just recently replace, I had a Roku in my office that I was experiencing the same thing, and I replaced that, and now it is working better. So it can also be the apparatus of what you're streaming through sometimes. So.
I don't stream. I mean,
Sure.
all I do is turn the TV on and watch it, or go to use a DVD. But I've noticed the last couple of weeks, there have been, it's just not working right.
My printer connects by Wi-Fi, and 2 days ago it suddenly stopped printing.
Well, I will, after this, before I leave today, and then we'll send out an update via email, I would say, and I will reach out to our consultants who help monitor that, because we do have a backup third-party monitor in addition to, obviously, Spectrum, AT&T, and I will report back on that and see. Otherwise, if there is ongoing issues that persist into next week individually, if you do have that problem recurrently, and if you unplug and replug in your system or reset anything, that you might have an extender in your apartment, and there's ongoing issues that you're unable to troubleshoot, please put in a work order for IT on WorksHub, and then Joe can come directly to your apartment, because there are different ways to reset, troubleshoot, and assist with that.
The other night, we were on a FaceTime connection with our iPad, and that's Wi-Fi only. And it was cutting out so much that we had to stop it. So it's gotta be the Wi-Fi.
Well, I will look into that and send out an email by end of day. Yeah, Paul.
To have Wi-Fi, we must have a series of repeaters throughout the building. And if one of those begins to fail, then whoever's in that area is going to reduce signal. So someone's going to have to check on all of those repeaters to make sure they're working. I'm not talking about the ones in the individual apartment that I have, but those that are building. And if settings change on those, whatever, you have a problem. So someone's going to take a look at it in that context.
Certainly.
We have a booster in our apartment.
Sure.
That Joe put in.
So the general commentary was the individual, our East Castle satellite options that then extend and then assist with the boosters that you have in your apartment, checking on those. And that's what we would be able to run diagnostics on, to see if there's one failing or there's one that doesn't have a great signal or not. But we do usually anticipate those, and those are, we're able to get information directly to our cell phones if there is a failure in that system, and we have not received that. But sounds like there's been some inconsistencies, so we'll look into that and let you know. So I appreciate that.
I want to say, we have private Wi-Fi, but we also have in our kitchen, East Castle. So the last 2 weeks, they're able to go to the stock market and yesterday, and he waited like 2 hours to get a response from them. And something else happened with my phone wouldn't work. But if you go in the other room, on the private, it works.
Good to know. All right. Well, I will let you all know. I appreciate the feedback on that. All right. Yes, Joanne.
Would you say more about Joe's position in Bradford Terrace? What's going on and what will happen in the future?
Absolutely. So the question was if I could expand further on Joe's position in the health center and what's going on and what is the future. So Joe Tomasino, if any of you have met him, he's about a 5'8" bald man who's in Bradford Terrace. If you've ever had a assisted living experience or seen him roaming around the halls. So Joe did have his last day at East Castle last Friday, and so he was our admissions coordinator. So him and Amy Steffen, she's blonde, also about 5'8", and those two have done the sales in the health center, our memory support neighborhood, and then assisted living for the past 5 years. So Joe had an opportunity to uproot his life out of Milwaukee and move to Madison to be closer to family. So he wasn't planning on leaving East Castle. I've worked with Joe my whole career, so I was pretty bummed out hearing that news, as well as I know many staff members and residents that he's built relationships with. But, a great opportunity for him, and it's good for him to, move to Madison and start his next chapter of his life. So Joe right now is working remotely to support some of the admission efforts in our health center, because again, one person to supplement that entire building is a lot, in addition to obviously Bryce, Jillian, Anna, Heidi, and Jennifer, and myself supporting the operations, as we are all one team for sales and marketing. And then we have completed the recruiting efforts, and so happily have extended a job offer to an internal candidate, Julia Castillo, if you've ever worked with her. She is our health services manager who sits right when you get off the elevator on the 5th floor of Bradford Terrace, if you've ever met her. So she is getting promoted into Joe's admission coordinator role. So Julia comes with 20 years of medical information, as well as has filled in and backfilled for that admissions position when Joe and Amy have been on vacation. So as she embarks, she's got a really strong foundation, to continue the great sales success in that area, and then she'll continue to learn from our sales and marketing team and go to training for that, increased sales experience. Great question. Yes, and so now that we're working to replace Julia's position, but again, all things that it's nice to see people internally promote, as well as all positions, hopefully her role, we can find someone and get them trained up to snuff and not see a ripple in operations. Yes?
Screens have not come back on my windows. What's the deal?
Screens have not come back on my window. What's the deal? I wish I had a better answer to that. I know that was a question for this month, and I don't have the answer as of at this moment, but I will find out of what the timeline for the screens are. So Eric is off until Monday, but I know that screens will be put back on your windows soon. I just don't have the exact date, and I don't want to tell you something that's incorrect and then catch my foot in my mouth for setting Eric up to fail. So
I think those screens were shipped to Kansas along with the tabletop.
Great news on the private dining room tabletops. Monday at 9 a.m. they will be replaced. So we have confirmed emails, we have confirmed Outlook calendar invites, so I will believe it when I see them come through the door at 9 a.m. on Monday, but that is the plan.
I walked with them in the morning, and on Sunday, I think it was Sunday, if there's nobody around, I let the dog run down all the stairs in that the back. Yeah, the one that goes to the little garage, small garage, whatever it's called. And it's great, because it's the only time she has to run. So she sits down, I have her come up again, sits down, she comes up again. And that day, the garage door was open. And it was early. I mean, it was Sunday morning, it was probably 6:30, so it wasn't, anyway. So, and I had seen Larry Howe at the same time outside, and I said, that door ain't open. And he said, I don't know, I've seen that before. And so we called, it was either Lee or Nick, and so we called him, and then security did come down. Well, I don't know who came down, but somebody came down and closed it. But now I know where the button is, so if it happens again, and I can reach the button, I will push the button to get the garage door down. But I don't know, it should be checked. But there's not many people down there at so.
Sure. So the statement was, Sunday morning, the garage door was open and was not closing until Linda pushed the button. And security then came and put it down, but just to double check, was this past Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. I will circle back with security on that because I haven't heard anything that the Lake Terrace garage door has had any errors or operational issues, but that is definitely something that obviously should automatically close, and if it so happened did not, we'll check into that because that will not happen. Okay. Yeah.
All the air conditioners been checked. I don't know whether somebody come or they haven't come. I left a note up on the door of the air conditioner with a question, and there was no response, so I didn't know whether they'd been there or not.
The question was, did all the air conditioners get checked? I don't believe all of them have yet at present. They are still finishing some up. Judy, I will put you down.
I thought the schedule said that we were on the first day. No. Yeah. No. I have the date on my
There is an email of the designated schedule for the air conditioners to be checked. When I look at the Wi-Fi and send that out this afternoon, I'll also resend out the schedule in case you lost that, and we can have that posted if there's any questions. And if you have any questions, if yours did or did not get checked because you allowed our individuals to come into your apartment as you were not home, please just put in a work order and they will follow up with you directly on that. Yeah.
I understand there's a trip plan to dispose of unused medications. Would it not be possible for staff people to take my medications along and
So the question was, there is a tripped plan for the disposal of unused medications. Would it be possible for our staff to collect those medications and bring them so that someone wouldn't have to necessarily go on the trip to the police station or the area district to do that? At present, we do not have a plan where our staff would be receiving those medications for you to drop off. We would want you to participate and go to an event or go to the outing to the police station. It's a bit more complicated than, as we've delved into this process and this subject of exactly what that looks like with our staff handling medications of yours and not knowing the subject matter. So more to come on that outing for the unused medications, but at present, we will not be collecting those, but if that changes, we will post that in a memo.
Dark humor over there.
Right? All right, who has the next question? No? Okay. All right, well then I just want you to take note of an important date on the bottom part of your page, our budget presentation. In case you would like to be there or schedule lunch over that hour, whatever your heart desires, but Wednesday, August 27th at 2 p.m. will be our resident budget presentation with myself and Brad Sitzberger, our Director of Finance here. And that will be right here in Lindsay Hall. And then we'll let everyone sleep on it and come to State of the Castle the next day at 1 p.m.
Include this year in your budget presentation, how we did against the budget last fiscal year?
Can I include in this budget presentation how we did against the budget last fiscal year? Yes, I can.
Where your budget was, they've never done that fast.
Absolutely. I can say right now, to foreshadow, we have been doing fantastic. Being full in independent living, and then we've been full in all of our healthcare areas, outperforming the census averages that we did budget for. We've been outperforming the budget thus far, which is great news and exactly what we like to see as operators for our staff's high performance and so on. So, all right, any other questions? All right, you guys have a terrific Thursday. Stay cool out there. We'll see you next month.